Jesus Christ is running for president in 2020. What are some of the highlights of his campaign? Clearing out the corruption. In 32 AD he was flipping tables in the temple and beating the money changers with a cattle whip to clean his father's house. Can't wait to see what he does with the senators. Just replied to another comment referencing exactly this. Greater than he wants to destroy religious tax havens and openly speaks out against mega-churches religions that are just in it for the money. Asterisk, 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 make not my father's house an house of merchandise, asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. John chapter 2 verse 16. Edit. Fixed the wording and added a citation. A cattle whip he sat down and made himself by hand. I like to picture Jesus braiding away, muttering about the money changers, while the apostles all kind of stand around nervously, exchanging glances and wondering what the hell he's up to this time. Fundraising dinner for thousands of people. Food budget $5 worth of loaves and fishes. This just in: Panera backs Jesus campaign. Yeah, but the only thing you can get for $5 in Panera is a cup of water, and to be mocked by the staff. Greater than a cup of water? Oh, do you mean an unlimited supply of wine? Jesus only duplicates food. He converts the water. So now you have a glass of wine more expensive than 2 bottles from Trader Joe's. Free healthcare. He'll personally heal you in a matter of seconds. Also free alcohol. He'll turn all water into wine and the nation will suddenly be in dire need of his healthcare plan. Edit. A word. Bible 2. Not an autobiography but a rectification of the original. To heaven and back. From our Lord Savior. What really happened 2,000 years ago. There and back again. The Savior's tale. Electric Boogaloo. This time it's personal. He gets called a filthy commie and told to go back to the Middle East. Asterisk, filthy commie Jew. He turns the other cheek and does not respond. Voters see this as weakness and he fails to obtain the nomination. Elect me, or I'm going to tell Dad. Oh my Dad. You can't be serious, America. This is the candidate you have running against me. Let me tell you, I let one Judas get the better of me. This one I wouldn't even break bread with. Pretty sure the first time we met was after a long stint in the desert I had. Didn't listen to him then. Won't now either, thank Dad. Edit. 40 days of desserts isn't quite as daunting, I guess. And his podcast, Dad Save America. No more unsafe drinking water. All reservoirs are now filled with clean, safe to drink wine and everyone can be drunk all the time. He just got Flint's vote. I don't think he'd run for president, but people would assume he was. And then murder Hi Monsieur. I'm not sure Jesus would live long in America. Don't worry, he'll be back in 3 days. Jesus Christ, dude, you look like you've seen a ghost. He turned the Great Lakes into wine and threw a lit-ass rally. He'd never make it past the primaries. He's a brown-skinned Middle Eastern socialist that favors open borders and dismisses the rich. The left don't want someone so openly religious. The right don't want someone who would support social welfare or disruption of corporations. Nobody wants to be a libertarian candidate. So Jesus doesn't even try that. Sorry, Jesus, but you're just a fringe candidate. Idaho might elect you as a local city council member or something. The USA invades Israel and makes it the 51st state of America to fulfill the natural-born citizen clause for Jesus. Pledges extra money for education and skilled trades such as carpentry. Gives speech how he wants to run the country so well he ends up being bigger than the Beatles. Debates the death penalty and states how much he hates it. Makes it clear the fact it still exists in such a developed nation makes him really cross. Controversially chooses Judas to be his vice president as he's more trustworthy than any politician he's ever met. Greater than the USA invades Israel and makes it the 51st state of America to fulfill the natural-born citizen clause for Jesus. Shit. Now I'm wondering if that for real counts. I think it has to be a state at the time of your birth. However, if you were born before the Constitution was written, which Jesus was, You are by default eligible if you meet the age and residency requirements. He loses to Donald Trump. Highlights include Trump calling him an imposter and insulting him personally with third-grade humor, which makes the MAGA crowd go wild. Jesus reiterating what he said about rich assholes not entering heaven and virtually everyone in the audience using mental gymnastics to find a way in which Jesus somehow did not say the thing he said a second time. Thousands of years later, Jesus pointing to a child as an example of how naturally loving our neighbor comes to us, and then Trump making fun of both that child and Jesus. To more cheers from the sea of red hats. And Jesus getting crucified for a second time. This time by Christians who say they'd rather follow Donald off a moral cliff like lemmings than do what they know is the right thing and call his behavior childish, embarrassing, and non-presidential and vote for anyone else. I like people who don't get crucified. Christian conservatives erupt into applause. He wants to destroy religious tax havens and openly speaks out against mega-churches' religions that are just in it for the money. A universal welfare system for those in need regardless of why they're in need. Legalized drugs, prostitution, lifestyles, police reform, based on the Bible. If you believe that stuff, I would pay admission to see Jesus Christ chase Joel Osteen out of the country with a whip. I would pay to see anyone chase Joel Osteen and his ilk out of the country with a whip. Greater than legalized drugs, prostitution, lifestyles. Your reading comprehension really sucks. He'd have separate campaign platforms for each state. Massachusetts will officially appoint Tom Brady as one of his apostles. Texas, it is now canon that Jesus was nailed to a field goal post instead of a crucifix. West Virginia will make Take Me Home Country Roads an official hymn. Louisiana will hold a Last Supper for the entire state, which is just a large crawfish boil. Nevada offered to take the aliens in Area 51 back home. California will use his carpentry skills to build many houses, thus ending the housing crisis. Florida, he'll turn water into Four Loko laced with meth. Michigan will turn Flint water into Faygo. Reformatted since this is great but unreadable. Massachusetts will officially appoint Tom Brady as one of his apostles. Texas it is now canon that Jesus was nailed to a field goal post instead of a crucifix. West Virginia will make Take Me Home Country Roads an official hymn. Louisiana will hold a Last Supper for the entire state, which is just a large crawfish boil. Nevada offered to take the aliens in Area 51 back home. California will use his carpentry skills to build many houses, thus ending the housing crisis. Florida he'll turn water into Four Loko laced with meth. Michigan will turn Flint water into Faygo, doing the Lord's work. Trump constantly calling him Dirty Sandals Christ and then claiming that his birth certificate was fake. Karen, what is your view on the anti-vaccine movement? Quote, JC, it's utterly ridiculous and should be abandoned. Get your vaccinations. Karen, damn, the pro-vax movement has really gone far. They even got you? Sad to be honest. Big Pharma, the only gun that needs to be banned is the nail gun. He's an Israeli Muslim. Show us your birth certificate. He's not tough on terrorists with his turn the other cheek policy. He's a Jew, not a Muslim. And neither was Obama. That truth didn't faze the GOP spin machine, did it? If Obama is a Muslim, then he is the worst Muslim ever. Drank alcohol, ate bacon, pro-gay marriage. Yeah, definitely a Muslim. Losing the evangelical Christian vote to Trump. Hell, turn your water into wine. Finally someone is looking out for Flint, Michigan. No joke. Isn't that why people drank wine all the time back then? Because plain water was unhealthy to drink and the alcohol killed all the crap in it? He promises to feed the poor with a literal unlimited supply of fish. Republicans hate the fish tax on the wealthy, even though it doesn't exist. Democrats hate the rampant overfishing of the world's oceans, even though he's literally turning small piles of wheat into mountains of free fish. He loses in the primaries, getting called an anti-Semite by the media for being against Israel's activities of late. True virtue is to abandon the twisted values of modern capitalism and to live the life of an ascetic, devoting yourself to charity and good works. No one votes for him because he's a socialist. America is a Christian nation and we ain't electing no godless commie. This also, he's Jewish and Palestinian, so let's just get into that shit also. AIPAC wouldn't be happy about his anti-Zionist views. He told Jews not to resist Roman occupation, and that homeland didn't equal salvation. Asterisk, this Jesus is an anti-Semite. Asterisk, he turned the Capitol reflecting pool to wine after walking across it giving a speech. He is disavowed by both political parties for saying, "Forgive those that wrong you," and refusing to disavow the actions of both Antifa, the alt-right, and terrorists. There are multiple controversies surrounding his heritage and whether he has white privilege or if he's actually even from America. No one can agree what his skin color is. Multiple accusations from both sides about being a religious fanatic. Edit. A comma. He's from Bethlehem, Missouri. His skin color is most assuredly brown. Until you wash him. Then it's probably a bit of a lighter brown. I think a lot about the grime people had on them walking around in the desert. If Jesus was running for president in 2028, I'd drop everything and go to church. He speaks directly to the people, not through interpreters or through the normal hierarchical channels. He refuses to run for office, but people keep writing his name on the ballot in record numbers. He lashes out at the people in authority, but mainly his own political party for their hypocrisy, though they've studied the law their entire lives. He seems to think they know the least about the spirit of the laws that the country was founded upon. His followers go through great lengths to protect him as the media whips up in a frenzy to block his nomination, even to the extent that doing harm against the media. SMH. They've been on the campaign trail with him for years and years now. They should get it by now. But they still can't seem to grasp his true intent. Jesus gives in to the vitriol against, willingly offers himself to the media onslaught that was stoked into a frenzy behind the scenes by the party leaders, and suffers to death, all in the hope that all could be truly free. Love everyone equally and don't judge people. What about gay people? Quote, did I stutter? Quote, no, but did I stutter? Quote, I always liked this one. Greater than love everyone equally and don't judge people. Greater than, what about gay people? Quote, greater than, yes, even people who ask stupid questions. A Republican candidate with a history of alcohol abuse and ties to big liquor is going to mudsling at Jesus regarding his wine-making hobby. Another will accuse him of being too soft on prostitution. That candidate will later be found at a gay brothel getting done by a bear who calls himself the Chief. His campaign slogan would probably be, not me, us. He'd fight for healthcare for all, housing for all, and get largely ignored in the media. Not me, my Father in heaven. Asterisk highlights from last night's debate. Asterisk. Mr. Christ advocated for the following changes, plus Medicare for all, plus a massive expansion of welfare and assistance programs, plus a 700% increase in income taxes on the top 10% of earners, plus a streamlined immigration and naturalization process. In polls, his support among evangelicals has reached an all-time low this morning, at 17%. So-called prosperity gospel preachers are upset when he tells them that God doesn't afflict people with poverty as a punishment and bless them with riches as a reward. Being a non-USA born candidate plus from the Middle East would be even more groundbreaking than him being literally Jesus. Lots of stones being thrown at each rally he holds when people realize Christ isn't a white man. Bit of a funny story. I was a wellness meeting at my church as we were talking about our meeting with Jesus. Basically a mental exercise where you talk with Christ. It's a form of self-reflection and a way to remove yourself from the equation. Anyway, one guy starts talking about his experience and says, I was on a bench and Jesus started walking to me, but he was white. So I panicked and said, no, get out of here, white Jesus. You're from the Middle East, not Alabama. Probably the funniest thing to happen in a super somber support group meeting. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.